scan it, please. QR code.
All right, we are back online coming out of executive session. We will now move on to old business. Oh, no, we apologize. We'll now move on to letter B under new business. Commission on Human Rights Bylaws.
So, just a quick update on this. I was able to track all the changes, which I've renamed all the changes based on the recency of the draft. And I also put in a company document that shows the track the changes for the time. So that, just to give you just a reference, just in case you block through the latest version, you know what's been changed. The first thing. Just to streamline the process.
And,
that should be circulated by now.
Roxy, what are you looking for as far as a deadline for changes?
This is on your own page, so
Okay.
this is an active document, until you guys are ready to vote on it.
Okay. Great.
So, if you have any, as I said, if you have any suggestions, changes, just feel free to reach out to me, I'll work on those. And those changes, I'll probably incorporate this draft, my draft, so this week with this draft. And I'll also update the board document so that everybody knows what's been changed.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Moving on to proposed legislation amending end dates for some commissioners.
So, we worked on this as well. Thank you, Councilor Kaiser, for looking over the document, making suggestions, changes. I agree with the changes for the local code. The change that is suggested doesn't make sense, so I've incorporated them in the proposal that was added. Was circulated, I believe it's circulated, so it's
Yeah, it's in your folder.
I think we
Yep.
attached it. We can upload it to the folder.
So I think the next step was, I have to verify that I can be recording on my anyone, but if so, I'll work on that, and it should be ready to be presented to the council.
So typically, the council, I think during one of the caucus, or maybe the committee meeting that they refer this to, like to have some member of the board or commission come and just talk to the police here, why they want
You
to change.
understand it's a back.
We'll let you know when it looks like they're going to schedule everything.
So I think their deadline is, to submit new legislation is probably Wednesday.
Okay.
And so, that would get it in and start it. So with this, doesn't happen immediately, but everybody's
Push
term
out.
will go to December 31st. So if you ordinarily expired in August 2024,
Right.
then that'll be December. If it's 2025 of August, then it'll be December. So everybody will have a uniform
Expiration date.
And we will never forget
Right.
the terms end.
Then you need to figure out who gets what, that's the whole.
Stagger. Yeah.
The stagger.
Staggering, yeah.
So that they should be ready.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on to new business, draft 2023 equity agenda review.
So in your folder, or your other folder, a printed copy, because it's a lot to read, of the report and the appendix items. You also have it digitally. I sent you the report. It's in a Word document form, so you can go and put track changes on, make your edits, your questions in there. The appendix items, if you want to see any of the individual files, Jessica, my team, first of all, huge shout out to her for taking the lead on this. It's a lot of work.
This is-
But we have all the files in whatever format you need. You know, we have Excel, we have the PDFs that were originally sent to us, so we can I'll put those in the SharePoint for you, so you can have the individual files. We just join them together to send it more easily. But the deadline on this, to submit to the council, September 21st.
So we have-
As promised, you have it in June. You have a long time to sort of sift through, figure out what the next move is.
So this is everything we got last year late, in the year, later in the year, but,
Instead of November, or?
and it's all the data and everything.
Have it now.
Amazing.
So I have given some of my departments a heads up. You know, I told engineering, I do expect you might have questions on paving, usually comes up. I told departments, you know, they might call the meeting when you're a special meeting or have a working group, but, you know, they're willing to talk about any of the data, answer any questions. So just let us know when you're kind of do that.
I have a question about paving. When people, whatever company that they use to pave the streets, and the sidewalks, who monitors that? Who goes out to see exactly how it's done?
I assume, I mean, so this is where I want the departments to come in and talk to you about it. Should be the Department of Engineering. It falls under their purview. DGS has, there's, I think, a couple ways they do it. I think there's an in-house paving crew that does certain type of work, and that's through DGS. And then I know the big street contracts and the big projects are managed through engineering. But this is a perfect segue, so I think if the commission wants to think about your questions and the departments that I can, you know, we can work with you to bring them in for a meeting to do their own presentations, because you know.
Certain parts of Auburn ride through, and they have just paved it, like it got big holes in it now. It's like, who's monitoring what is going on?
And I wonder if it is because one's done differently, or if they're using different contractors.
All I know is, I think, you know, the city could use about 1,000% more funds to pave the roads. I think it would be well worth bringing, when they come in, when you're ready, asking questions directly to the city engineer.
I think we're ready, because they keep doing it, and it looks a mess. It's a mess.
I know. You asking me about a job application, I got you, but about the paving.
Oh, I agree.
I do have a question about that, though, Job. All of that wonderful information that you and Tatiana collected and put together, is some of that included in this report?
We have a section towards the back, about, a little more goes into the details about the demographics of people who applied, about the number of applications, where in the city, like that.
But I think some of that targeted outreach that you guys have been doing to your police officers, I think that's awesome. And I think, you know, the change might not be evident immediately in the numbers, but in terms of the intentionality, in terms of having a direction where you want to go, I think that's awesome. So if that's included, that.
So some of what we mentioned on the lateral, some is included and some is not, because this is a look back at last calendar year, and I think a lot of the lateral moves have been happening really this year, but we can absolutely provide more information or expand on it.
Yeah, and you know, and that kind of goes back to what I mean by the numbers may not reflect the change in clearly there's work that happened in terms of legislation last year, or happened, you know, being that you can now recruit from other places. So even including that into the document would be very helpful.
Well, it's a living document, and I think probably could be your best year yet with this report, because we have a lot of time. So anything like that, we can certainly add in.
What's the deadline on this for us to review?
So we have time, because it's not due until the 31st or 21st of December. So we have plenty of time this year, which is amazing.
You know, I will say, I will appreciate the commission, and I'm looking at you, Commissioner Love, your push to get it done earlier. I think it was actually really good for our team, because how it's difficult for them to think about 2023 come September. Like, it's nice to do it earlier in the year, so I appreciate it. I think it was a good push for us.
I applaud your entire department and the team. That I can only imagine.
I can't take the credit, I think all the team, but.
Your whole team. It's an amazing job getting this.
And your short staff, like, this is awesome. Thank you.
Then can I just like suggest that we stay on top of this, so that by the time November first comes, we're all, we're exhausted the conversation, and we really have gone through this with a fine tooth comb. Okay.
But, and having said that, I think we should have an internal deadline of when we want to be finished, so that we can.
What, I'll entertain a motion for an internal deadline for us to initially review.
I move.
I second.
What would that deadline be?
I would say sometime.
September?
September?
Early September?
September?
So that would be,
We don't meet in
well, in the summer.
the summertime, so I think we should allow ourselves time.
October meeting?
Well,
Fairness.
so when you say internal deadline, so we will, maybe starting tomorrow, I don't know, we will all look at it and with our comments and whatever, and so that meeting, if it's September, we're gonna come back and jointly discuss our comments.
I would
Is that
hope
fine?
that if we say September meeting, October meeting, we discuss this in June, and discuss it again in October, and by September, and by October 1, this is done, like, that's.
Maybe we could say no later than September 1st. All the commissioners will have reviewed it, and that'll give you some time then to bring in, if we do have like specific questions this way, because we don't want to say, oh, perfect.
So we would have this, we would be able to address it by our September 19th meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so it's been moved and seconded that we will have an internal deadline of September 19th, 2024, for all commissioners who have reviewed and commented on the 2023 draft equity agenda report.
And in the meantime, welcome to just send questions
Yeah.
our way if you have anything. Don't feel like you have to wait.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Can I ask that this be on the June agenda, so that we can actually start?
That's a good idea. All right, moving right along, updates from Commission on Human Rights Subcommittees. Aaron's not here, so I will report out on community and nonprofit engagement and events. We had a wonderful time and a great turnout at Tulip Fest, which was awesome. I was there, and Tisha was there, Richard was there. We spoke with, I think we ended up at 80.
Actually, it was more. One of the things I returned in there is the clicker. It's in that bag, and I looked at it. I think it's 111.
Oh, awesome.
But a lot of people, I mean, people came up, they had questions. They had particular issues they wanted to talk about. The tenants' rights booklets were very popular. And everything. And we handed out our brochures.
And the pens, everybody loved the
Oh, I
pens. So whoever came up with the idea for the pens, was that you? But it was really nice to be able to engage with people throughout the city. A lot of them who were not familiar with the commission or what we did. What was also really nice is to hear, like, a lot of people were really excited that the commission exists and that there are people out there supporting diversity and addressing concerns. So I think it was a wonderful success. There are other events coming up. If you've looked in the drive, Capital District African American Heritage Parade is June 15th, if anybody's interested in doing that. Pride is June
So there's two. There's Interim
Two.
Voices on, it's June 8th.
8th.
I think Interim Voices the 8th, and Capital Pride is the 9th. That's the Saturday and the Sunday.
Yes, yep. So if anybody's interested.
We have, a big tent with the table, so you don't have to worry about all that stuff. You just have to bring yourself and your material. If we can get one of those, but.
So I mean, it would be if anyone is available,
Yeah, that's another thing.
that.
And then the Albany Community Land Trust is partnered with SUNY at Albany and the Pine Hills Neighborhood
Yes.
Association for Juneteenth on June 19th at Madison Avenue Park.
It's on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yes,
No, from 12 to 4.
so that's from 12 to 4, oh, good.
Yeah, 12 to 4.
And then,
And then we have the Women's March coming up on this Saturday, partner with Urban Grief, Parents of Angel Children, Frank Chapman Memorial Institute, and NAACP, and the City of Albany. And this march is to support women who have lost children to violence. And so, now that you can. And the march will start at the Empire State Plaza across from the museum and go straight into Washington Park Lake House, where we will serve hors d'oeuvres and have a little program.
I like that flag. Because it didn't look
this is, yes, oh, sorry, I'm like the 25th, yes, May 25th.
Yes.
So would we have March? I mean, would we, with our banner, March? Okay.
I think our Office of Cultural Affairs is closed, but if anyone wants to pick it up this week, we can arrange a time. I also, actually, for anyone who wants to, Bailey's out today, so I was didn't have all the stuff ready, but if you want to stay a minute after and you didn't get your T-shirt from Tulip Fest, or I think I have business cards for you, we can always, if you hang out, we can get them after.
Yeah. we bid you adieu. I know you have to run.
Okay.
Is anybody available and interested in on behalf of the commission? I will not be in town this weekend.
I won't be in town either, otherwise.
I would totally be.
And I'm not here that day either.
I'm already attending as part of the charge, but since it's long for now, I will more than likely
Okay. Thank you.
We do have the brochure that
Yes.
we can give you.
Excellent. So those are the most immediate events coming up. I encourage everybody to look at the shared drive, to keep an eye on who's attending which events. If you can make it, that is wonderful. If you can't, also, we get it, people have lives. Also, if you see other events, please feel free to add those into the drive so that we can keep a running list going. Next on the agenda is going to be an update from investigations, if and only if there is one. There is not, so we'll move right on to communications and social media. Is there an update on communications and social?
Actually, Rosie and I were supposed to connect and get together, but we have,
So we'll shoot for next thing.
yeah.
I did have one thing though, I did reach out to Lonnie, who previously coordinated the page. And she said someone's name by the name of Sarah, does that ring a bell? Sarah?
Yeah, I was already working with her. She still works for the city, but she didn't have direct access to the Facebook page. I know, she used to be the web master.
Yeah. Okay.
But still, the Facebook access issue is still,
Yeah, that's still.
Still with Meta.
Did anybody
Parent
ever reach out to
company.
Brenda?
No, someone was supposed to, I
I
don't
don't know who
contact.
it was.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think it was Aaron.
Oh, okay.
I think Aaron was gonna follow up there. Okay. Are there any other announcements or discussion?
I had a question. For investigations, we have to work with HR and schedule something. Where are we with that?
So Melanie's been kind of looking into options for you.
So I'm working with our corporation council. There are a couple of possibilities, but right now, we're looking to see what the actual possibilities are. There's a lot of high-level possibilities. So I don't know if it's something that's going to be done in-house, or possibly engaging with our lead corporation council, to kind of hash out what it is exactly the commission's responsibilities are versus what the staff responsibilities are, versus what the fair housing officer's responsibilities are. So there's legislation that is coming, that is drafted around the fair housing officer, that might report to me. So we'll see how Corporation Council and HR and my role as the commission work together with the fair housing.
Yeah, we're hoping to just get
One around quite as easy as we thought it was going to be, but if we can get everybody in a room, that they can. Okay.
All right.
I'd like to attend, even though I'm not.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind attending either.
I think there's just so many overlapping jurisdictions and specialties and also making sure when a complaint does come in, you have the adequate training, but you're also, not everyone here is a trained lawyer. So we wanted to kind of meet with those lawyers to see like, how should we be doing this?
Excellent. Thank you for following up on that. Any other, Richard, did you have a?
No, I mean, in terms of just going back to the awardees, you're gonna notify them, or that's
Sorry.
notifying
Can
them?
awardees be notified?
We can send an email from the commission's
Yeah.
account. I mean, I'll sit down with Bailey, but I think maybe Tom, we want to do a quick call this week, or just to see,
Yeah,
make sure we're on the same page
let's
with
get something on the
everything.
calendar.
I know we have to order awards, and just, there's a
Yeah.
lot of smaller, easy logistics, but just want to make sure we kind of run it
Yep.
through.
Sounds good.
I can look and see if I did find something that Jazz had sent out last year,
Yeah.
that I already forwarded to Bailey to have queued up, so I can send that back to you, and you can just, it's pretty nice language, so I rewrite it, so. But I want to make sure we have everyone's information, and I think since they were all received by email,
I'll
we got
email
from the
you.
last individual, we should be good, but maybe we'll do a quick 15-minute call.
Yeah, perfect. Just let me know when.
Okay.
When, can't talk today. I'll talk later. Are there any further announcements or questions or testimonials? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:32 p.m. Moved by Commissioner Love, seconded by Commissioner Evers. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Have a wonderful